treating this patient, right? And they're coming off the, hypothetically with you, but they're coming off the street to see a psychiatrist for help, right?
Yes.
And if they're already been prescribed drug after drug after drug by a particular doctor with her 2 months of robust experience, is it a fair statement that you should take a blood test of that person?
Well, it really depends on the medication. There are some medications that really require blood tests because of levels and the like. Many psychotropic medications are not easily, there's not an easy test for the amount of medication in the system. So it depends on the circumstances, and it depends on the medication. I mean, for example, lithium or carbamazepine or valproic acid, those are all mood stabilizers. Certainly taking a blood test would be very important. So it depends.
Depends. Can I just ask you to spell those two drugs that you just pronounced for the stenographer, please?
Carbamazepine.
Yeah.
Carbamazepine.
Okay.
Valproic acid, Valproic acid, also known as valproate, Valproate. And did I mention lithium?
That's not a hard one. The record has to be accurate, that's all.
Understood.
Okay. Now, doctor, are there other tests in your experience that are or can be or should be administered to a young woman or a woman who's had a baby and is coming to a doctor, like Dr. Tufts, for example? Are there other tests that can be administered to determine if, in fact, that person is suffering from postpartum depression?
I'm not aware of any specific test that specifically diagnoses depression. Years and years ago.
Oh, postpartum depression, sir.
Pardon me?
Postpartum depression is my question.
Correct.
Depression. I know you want to say it's the same thing, but postpartum depression is my question.
And you're asking if there's a blood test for postpartum depression?
I'm asking if there's any tests at all that a psychiatrist can or should administer to the patient coming to them for help.
Well, there's the Edinburgh scale, which is a self-report that patients fill out for who are postpartum.
You looked that up last night?
No.
Well, you knew about the Edinburgh scale?
Yes.
You administer the Edinburgh scale?
Pardon me?
Have you administered the Edinburgh scale?
No. It's a self-report, usually given by nurses.
Nurses, okay. In any event, it's a scale that is a useful tool to determine the level or degree of depression that a person may be expressing that is suffering from postpartum depression, correct?
That's right.
And do you know what the numbers are on the scale? Like, is it 1 to 23 or is it 1 to 50, or do you know what it is?
It's a 30-point scale. So 1 to 30, as I understand it.
And when you say a self-report, the patient would then advise what symptomology they're suffering at that particular point in time, right?
Correct.
And then the doctor would then determine whether or not there is a risk or an extreme risk or a deadly risk of this person committing suicide, harming someone else, whether it's a baby or anybody else, and determine what the level of their postpartum depression is, right?
Yes, it can help.
And did Dr. Tufts administer Edinburgh test to this young woman?
I know that, Ms. Clancy, there were a number of Edinburgh tests that were given to her, so that there are some scores in her record. I can't recall which practitioner gave her the Edinburgh test, but I do recall that there are a number of scores within her with her medical record.
Right. And what was her highest score?
The highest score that I recall was 23.
23 out of 30, right?
Correct.
And over 15, the patient is in pretty serious trouble, right?
Over 15 is concerning, definitely.
Right. And she was 23. Right?
Yes, I believe so. I think they ranged from 19 to 23, just
Right,
from my
they
memory.
increase as time went by, right? She was getting worse,
Correct.
right? Yeah. All right. And in addition to the regular blood test, which costs like, I don't know, about $100 to administer a blood test to see what somebody's got in their system. It's not a lot of money, right, for the insurance company.
I just didn't hear you.
Blood test. It's not a lot of money for an insurance company to pay, right, to cover.
Correct.
Okay. So do you feel that it is reasonable medical procedure for a psychiatrist dealing with a woman who is expressing under the Edinburgh scale off the charts or serious trouble, who is on medication, as we went through? The antipsychotic drugs, the SSRI drugs, the amitriptylines are at the end of the period of treatment with these people, the benzodiazepines. It's helpful to take a blood test, right?
It can be.
And is that, in your opinion, sir, to a reasonable degree of medical certainty, a step that should be taken by a competent doctor?
That taking blood tests can be appropriate, yes.
And then there's an additional blood test that you can use when you're dealing with a woman who's suffering from postpartum depression or coming to the doctor for help and they have significant narcotics or prescription drugs in their system, and that would be an enzyme test, right?
I'm not aware of an enzyme test being typically available or used.
Well, it costs a lot of money, doesn't it? Like it costs a couple of grand?
I don't know.
All right. In any event, sir, are there any other concerns that one would have if they're competent and they're treating somebody that's come to them for help in addition to a blood test and perhaps enzyme test to determine the metabolizing aspect of the person's system, metabolizing or processing these drugs that are in their system, the enzyme test? Are there any other tests or concerns that you have with a woman whose postpartum depression complaints come to your doorstep?
Well, depending on the presentation, sometimes it's helpful to check thyroid function. That can certainly be a cause of psychiatric symptoms.
Did they do a thyroid test on Lindsay?
No.
That's not a